This episode is brought to you by Lumina Growth Lab. At Lumina, we help professional learning and development companies who are struggling with predictable lead flow, breaking out beyond their network, and a sniper approach to attracting the ideal clients so they can have a smoother sales process, finally have scalability, and ultimately take their business to the next level. Most of the time, our clients come to us frustrated because business has fundamentally changed since the pandemic and now the disruption of AI. But with the right strategy and support, they're able to confidently add new channels of lead generation, leading to a packed pipeline that creates sustainable revenue and year over year growth for cheaper than ever before because of the use of AI technologies. If that sounds like you or someone you know, connect with me on LinkedIn and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about unlocking your business's potential. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Marketing Matrix. I'm your host, Lisanne Murphy, and today we are joined by the incredible, talented, good friend of mine, Yousuf Siddiqui. Yousuf, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Glad to be here, Lisanne. I was really excited about our conversation today. So can't wait to get going.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So, guys, I've had the opportunity to know Yusuf and work with him for quite some time now. And it's been really, really fun to get to know him and the impact he's making in the world. So before I hand over the mic, I want to take a moment to introduce this powerhouse man. So you can get a feel for him and what he's accomplished and what he's trying to do. And then I'm really excited to dive into this conversation. So Yusuf partners with mission-driven leaders and organizations to accelerate leadership impact, navigate change with purpose, and build resilient, high-performing teams. His executive coaching is rooted in deep expertise in organizational change and leadership development. He has over 15 years of experience helping leaders drive strategic transformation across industries. He has established and led organizational change management at $30 billion financial institutions, certifying over 100 internal change leaders. He's also enhanced performance by implementing enterprise performance management process for over 6,000 employees, boosting adoption from 40 to 80%. All right, so this guy, he has got what it takes, and he's also building something to help people manage their career change and help them be more fulfilled in their career, and also leverage all of the uncertainty and change that's happening around AI. So super relevant for what's going on in the world today. Really excited to have this conversation. Yusuf, again, thank you so much for coming. Can't wait to dive in.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Let's start talking.
Cool. So for people that aren't familiar with your story, let's go back to the beginning. Like, talk about like how did you get into organizational change, helping people manage their careers? Like what's the background of your story?
So I actually started off my career. My undergraduate education was in finance, and about 10 years into my career, I realized that's not something I have a real passion for. So I started off working in banking, and then I got into management consulting because that was just more exciting than banking to me. And then 10 years in, I realized I need to have more of a connection to what I do. So I went, got a master's in organizational psychology, and pivoted over to doing change management work, which is really the people side of any technology, process, or organizational change. And I loved it. It also helped me satisfy a deep curiosity about how people work together. And so marrying that with a career and getting paid was amazing for me. So I made that transition. And then I actually got an opportunity to work internally with some Fortune 500 companies in their HR areas and led HR teams. And that's what really gave me a good understanding of what humans in the workplace go through, how they're motivated, and what differentiates a high performing team from an average team.
I love it. So what are some of the things that you found? Like what are those things that differentiate a high performing team from one that struggles?
So I think a big part of it is leadership that is open minded and the type of leadership that understands what needs to get done from a business perspective, but the leader also knows what makes each of their team members tick. So it's more like playing chess than checkers. And I think that makes all the difference. It's not about foosball tables and food at work. It really is about good leadership. That's what I learned. And a good leader understands the dynamics within the team and can really lead a team to create a great environment with just the right amount of tension and just the right amount of nurturing to to get results. So I think that's really important because it's not, you're not just, as a leader, you're not just impacting the lives of your team members. They're your team members, their partners, their friends, anyone who's in that ecosystem around your team member. So it's really impactful work.
I love that. And I totally agree. I've experienced that for myself. I mean, having a leader that cares and understands like what not only the objectives are of the organization, but like how I work best or like what environment or what teams I need to be on in order to do my best work. Like the leader really makes or breaks the experience that I think people have within an organization. So and then talk to me about the transition between like working with teams and organizations to wanting to work with individuals and helping them decrease burnout, shift their careers, feel more fulfilled in their careers. Like how did that start for you?
So I've been helping people with their careers for over 10 years now. And it really was because I'm on my third pivot right now in my career. And I learned some things that were in common with all of my pivots. And that commonality is what I put together in a process that works. So helping people either pivot in their careers, like redirect, change industries, change roles, or having them strengthen where they are. There's a process for that. And over time, I've used it myself successfully, and I've helped other people use it over 10 years. Now I've formalized that process and created Edge Careers. So, Edge Careers is a career strategy company where we help people build out their career strategies. So, a lot of people quickly jump to their resume and LinkedIn profile. And that's where they think they should start. Wrong place to start. I realized that where you want to start is before that, you want to understand why? If you have a next destination, first you want to identify what your next destination looks like. So, for example, you want to go from a software engineer to you want to make your own product to an entrepreneur. That's your next destination. So, you want to have that identified. And then you want to really ask why. Why do I want to do that? And what is it that motivates me intrinsically? So, inside, what is it that makes me want to pursue that? And extrinsically. So I always thought it would be very prestigious to have my own company, let's say, or I want to make a certain amount of money or whatever it is, intrinsic and extrinsic. Then you want to understand, do I have the skills and the strengths to do that? So skills are what I've learned over time. Strengths are innately, what am I good at? Am I a good facilitator? Am I good, an analytical thinker? Whatever it is. And then you want to see what the gap is. So that's where you want to be after you identify your next destination and the why. You want to understand where the gap is. Then you want to understand, in order to get there, who do I need to talk to? Who's in my network right now? And more importantly, who's not in my network? And then you want to actually, based on that, come up with a people plan. What I like to call it is a people plan, essentially. And then you want to come up with an action plan. Now, the action plan or the strategy is going to change as you execute, but you want to have a starting strategy. And that strategy is really critical. That's the missing piece that people don't think about. They have spreadsheets, they have where did I apply? What do I need to do in my LinkedIn profile? Where did I send my resume, et cetera, et cetera? That's really, it doesn't serve people to do that.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about that. So you said that what people are missing is is it an understanding of the gap between like where they are and where they need to be skills wise, or is it more of is it that people gap, like they don't have the people that they need and they need to get those in place? Like, can you talk more about specifically like where do people go wrong when they're trying to shift either to a new industry or a new position? Like Like what's typically missing?
So all of it. People don't really think about their gaps as much. They think about their strengths. So they think about, what am I going to say in the interview? So most people, not only do they rush to tweak their resume or their LinkedIn profile, they rush to prepare for interviews. And nowadays they just go to AI and say, well, here's a job description. What do I think the hiring manager will be looking for? And let me focus on that. And most people are more concerned with their anxiety about interviewing than about what do they want and what do they want from their career. So they're really, most people are stuck on the tactical things and not on the strategic things when it comes to their career. The other area where people get stuck, and what I help the people that I work with do is come up with, well, how do you want to come across? Who do you want to come across as? So some people are in the camp of, well, I'm just authentic. I am who I am. I don't worry about how I come across. I just want to make sure that I tell people that I have the skills to do this job, right? The other camp is, well, I'm going to be whoever the hiring manager wants me to be. And I'll look at the job description and I'll start looking at what the qualities are of what they're looking for in the position and the skills and the abilities and all of that. And I'll just regurgitate that and I'll be whoever they want me to be. Well, that doesn't work. What you want to do is really ahead of time think about who you want to come across as, that comes from your strengths, your skills, and your experiences. That's the most important thing, is your experiences. So it's not about, well, I worked on this project and here are the metrics that I accomplished. No, it's about, I worked on this project. Here was the context. These are the stakeholders I was working with. And I experienced and learned how to manage a project in a highly matrixed environment, which is geographically dispersed, and achieve my targets while doing that. So that was a great thing about that experience. That's what I learned. So talk in terms of experiences, and the totality or the cumulative effect of the two or three experiences that you talk about in your interview or your conversation is is really going to create the perception of you, right? Along with how you're coming across, how calm you are, the interviewing skills piece. Along with that, the experiences that you relay, that's what's going to really help paint a picture of you. The other thing, you just cut for 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Lisanne, sorry. It's really annoying. This picture in the back of my wall keeps showing up through this wallpaper. And do you see it on this
But
side?
yeah,
Do you see, it's annoying the heck out of me. All right, hold on a second. Let me get that out. All right, there you go. Or maybe I ought to move this back a little bit so it doesn't catch that. Okay. How do I get? Okay. Maybe if I tell you. Okay. Why does that appear if that's so far away
yeah. Well,
and
it's honestly,
appears so?
like I mentioned, it's like any movement, the screen is like following you, and so it's
Hmm,
like it because as soon as you stop moving, then it goes away.
okay. I need to stop moving. All right.
I think it also has to do. It's close. It's a red, right? So it's like, is this his head? Is it a face? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I need to get away from the red in the back. Okay. So maybe if I tilt this a little. All right. Sorry about that.
you're good.
All right. Let's go back into it and we'll do action. So the interviewing piece, where people get stuck, is the anxiety around interviewing. That's a big part of it. But if you have what you want to convey or what you want your perception to be, if you have thought about that ahead of time, and that's your experiences and how you're coming across physically, if you have that figured out, the anxiety is lessened drastically. The other piece I like to tell people is that interviewing for roles, if you're actively interviewing, is a lot like dating. So you walk into a situation and you don't know what the other person is really looking for. You don't know where they are. Their minds could be, or minds and hearts, it could still be with somebody else. They're in a different situation and they're still stuck there. It could be that they thought they wanted a date, but they really don't. And they don't have the mental bandwidth, the physical bandwidth, whatever it is to date. And so all of those things are very similar to interviewing for roles because you walk into a situation, you don't even know if they've already selected some, or if they already have someone in mind for the role, the hiring manager. You don't know if the budget's going to get cut and the role is going to go away. You don't know any of that. But what you do know is you're showing up and you're telling them, these are some of my experiences, and it may be a match, it may not be a match. And if you go in where it has to be a match and you're after the interview, you're thinking it and overthinking it. What did I say? What did I not say? And maybe it's because of what I said and I didn't say that I didn't get the next call for the next round. More than likely, it's not about that. It's about a whole bunch of other things that could have happened that why you didn't get the call for the second round. So overthinking it is really, it gets in the way of your next interview for another role because you're really psyching yourself out. So thinking of it, reducing the pressure by understanding how you want to come across based on your experiences, skills, and your strengths, not on anything else, not that role itself, because you're trying to be all this, each interview, you're trying to be someone else. Instead of that, coming from that position, and also whatever it takes to lower the pressure, which means think of it like dating or think of it like any other lower pressure situation, it'll really help you.
I love that. So you help people really craft how they want to show up, how they who they want to be, and like be in charge of that. But then also, do you help people manage like the interview process and reviewing how things are going in the interview, doing feedback and things like that, or do you really just kind of like set the plan and let people go?
So I do, people usually come to me. So the process is I develop a career strategy in 4 weeks or less. I help them develop it. And once they do that, they go out into the world and they execute it. But while they execute it, they may have times where they come back to me and say, well, I have this big interview and I need to prepare. 9 out of 10 times, it's not about the content of the interview that I'm helping them with. It's really about calming them down and giving them perspective. Look, this is not the end all be all. This is not going to decide who you're going to be in life and where you're going to go in life, etc. This is a conversation. And so that's perspective. And the other thing is, well, how do I come across? And I need to remind them what I call their center of gravity. So we work on this while we're developing their career strategy. You got to go back to your center of gravity, which is why am I doing this? Why am I going for this interview? Why this role? Why this career path? What is my why? And this conversation or interview is just one piece of that journey of my why. And the bigger picture is I want to do this kind of work. And if you do that and you focus on your strengths and your skills, then that's your center of gravity and that calms you down. This becomes very important for people who are switching careers because they're not yet comfortable in their new skin. So if you're going from, let's say, a corporate job to an entrepreneur, most corporate job people have a really hard time being comfortable in their entrepreneurial skin and being able to talk about it. So, how do you go back to your center of gravity and say, this is why I want to be an entrepreneur? This is what I'm good at. These are my skills. And this is why I set off on this path. And that helps them calm down. So, center of gravity and perspective. Those are the two things 9 out of 10 times. That's what I'm talking to people about when they call me after we've developed a career strategy and when they call me in panic right before an interview.
That's cool. I love that. Okay, and tell me about how AI fits into this because I know that AI is like rocking every industry right now. Like, how do
Yeah.
you help people either manage the stress of AI or pivot with AI? Like what? How does AI fit into the work that you're doing with these individuals?
So AI is critical. Like this, there's never been a bigger inflection point in careers, and so most people I've observed are in wait and see mode. which is, yeah, we'll see where this thing goes with AI. My job is okay, or my role or my company is fine. Nothing's happening anytime soon. So the momentum is building with AI. Anytime now, you'll see it'll go around the corner and there'll be an acceleration. That's what I think. And which really means that being in wait and see mode is a big mistake. So then you have those people, well, I'm not in wait and see mode. I use ChatGPT for this or Claude for this to answer questions about what I should do this weekend, where I should go on a vacation. So I'm using AI. Not enough. Depending on what your role is and how it's evolving, you're going to have to start thinking of AI in use cases when it comes to your career. So, what are the different use cases? What are the different ways AI can be used in your role? And the key is to figure out what are the manual, administrative, tactical tasks in your role that you can use AI for. But the key thing is, and now this is a key, using AI isn't the end point. It's using AI plus how can I change my thinking to be more strategic? Because if AI is going to do all the admin stuff, you're going to be expected to be more strategic and add more value. So, how can I be one of those people that really ups my game and brings strategic ideas to the table as opposed to someone who just said, well, I figured out how to do this in AI. So the company's going to say, well, great. Most people have done it. The ones who haven't aren't around. So is it that you're bringing now that you've used AI to do most of your tactical stuff? So the benchmark is going to go higher. And are you ready? So there are two types of people that I work with. One type is people who want to pivot, go from one role to another, or one industry to another, or one like corporate to entrepreneurship, et cetera. The other is people who want to strengthen where they are, given that AI is here and also, coming in more intense forms. So helping people strengthen where they are is a key aspect of the impact of AI.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of like the Wild West in terms of like AI proofing your career, right? And becoming like a valuable resource. But I'm seeing it as well, like the people who understand how AI can be applied across their entire job function and replace certain things or create workflows in certain areas or automations or engineering loops that learn and get smarter over time. Like those are the people that are becoming really, really valuable to organizations.
Yeah. And it's not just about efficiency and cost cutting. It's about, think of it as, here are all the tactical things that AI can do and it will do in the future, or I can make it do them right now. But the more important thing is, here's what I can bring to the table that's higher value now that I'm not investing my time in that. That is going to be the key. It's not going to be I'm cutting costs and I'm more efficient and because I'm using AI to do XYZ. That's
Yeah.
not the whole conversation.
Do you feel like that's challenging to figure out? Like what can you actually bring to the table? Like when AI is so capable, or
100%.
is it not that hard to figure out?
100%. So most people struggle with thinking holistically or strategically or in use cases or let's say the bigger picture. Most people struggle with that. They can do their job really well. They can think about cost cutting efficiency, but they can't think about creating more value. So how do we create more value for our customers? How do I create more value in terms of my department, my role, my function, so that the company will benefit now and in the future and in a deeper way? Most people struggle with that.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I think it's something we're all like grappling with and trying to understand. Okay, so what's a big focus for Edge careers right now? Like what are you like really trying to hope to accomplish in the next year in terms is it a number of people that you want to help? Is it levels of funding or like what is it? Like what are you really focused on this year with Edge
I'm
careers?
focused on, so I still do my organizational development and change management work. That hasn't gone anywhere. I still work with Fortune 500 companies, helping them either scale or bring about change. So I'm still doing that. I still do the executive coaching, the leadership development type stuff, which I love. This career, edge careers, what I hope to accomplish here is have as many people as I can make that change to the AI world successfully. And ideally, I'm helping people go from a corporate, use this opportunity. There's tremendous opportunity also. So there are people that I can help strengthen where they are. So if they're a software engineer, I can help them strengthen their positioning while using agents, while using all the things that were they needed a team of 50 developers to do before, implement those ideas faster, and think more strategically. So I can do that. The other group of people that I can help is who people say, look, my role is not going to be around, or I wasn't really super excited about my role to begin with. And this is AI is my opportunity to do something else. So I was just talking to somebody last week, software engineer, and he's saying to me, "Look, I missed the boat in the startup era and in the dot com era. He's more seasoned, and so it was a really my desire to start be in the startup world and that exciting world and come up with the ideas, but I just didn't have the capital or the time or the team to do that. Well, now he does with AI." And he's building a system, a scheduling system for a hobby for a bunch of people who are involved in a hobby that he partakes in. He has all these ideas. And within 3 hours, he can get that application up and running. And so that's very exciting to him. So he has his 9 to 5, he's doing the software engineering stuff, but he's also doing these things on the side, which he never had the time, bandwidth, resources to do. And so one of those will might potentially take off and he'll make that transition. So going from a corporate kind of 9 to 5 thing to an entrepreneurial thing is what I'm helping people with as well.
Love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And what do you feel like you do that's different than other people in the industry?
So I work faster because I know how to switch, how to pivot in careers, pivot from being tactical to strategic, pivot from being corporate to entrepreneurial or corporate to entrepreneurial on the side or doing something but testing out another kind of career on the side. I know how to do that. And so I can do it fast. So like I said, within a month we can have a career strategy up and running and we talk about the right things, not your LinkedIn profile and your resume, but we talk about the why. We talk about your people map. We talk about your skills and gaps, your strengths gaps. We talk about how you want to show up, what your brand or perception needs to be, and we come up with a career strategy. And we put it to work, go and execute it, and I'm there to support you through the process. So the really the velocity and how quickly I can get people up and running and pointing in the right direction while talking about the deeper, the most important things, that's what's different. Usually coaching engagements can go 3 months, 6 months. You can have courses, you go on YouTube, you can hear a lot of leaders talk about careers, etc. That's fine, but that's not going to get you to a career strategy,
Mm,
which is key.
mm.
It's really gonna help you maybe have a better LinkedIn profile. It'll help you here are the 5 best things that you can do in an interview. You can do all that stuff, but that's not the deep work you need to get a career strategy up and running.
Mm. Interesting. I like that distinction. And what's like something you're really trying to solve right now? Like what's an issue that you're working through or a problem that you're like, oh man, it's just either you noodle on it often, keeps you up at night, or you're spending money on it. What's something you're trying to fix or solve?
So I'm trying to figure out how much of a career strategy can be done through AI versus and leveraging AI tools, just like all the tactical stuff. So, and how much of building a career strategy is really around conversations that cannot be substituted with AI. So, diagnostics, you can do AI. You can leverage AI. You can leverage AI for skills and where the gaps are. You can do that. But a lot of the why conversations, that's not an AI. Even if you use ChatGPT, you will not be able to get to the depth that you need to get to in order to figure out your intrinsic and your extrinsic motivation. So, of why you want to pursue a certain path. So, those conversations, I've tried it with AI, just not there yet. So, a big part of those conversations is the eye contact, is the body language, all of that when someone's talking about what they want to do, how their eyes light up, their face structure changes when they're talking about something that they're really intrinsically motivated by. So when I'm talking to people, that's what I'm looking for. What is
Mm,
that for you? Right? What is that for Lisanne? We'll be talking right now. You're looking at me, but when you start talking about that thing, your face changes.
mm,
So AI cannot do that.
yeah.
And so, but there are a lot of things AI can do in developing career strategy. So that's what I spend my time thinking about.
That's cool. I love that. And it's such an important distinction that again, figuring out like where where is the human best and where is AI best?
Yeah.
Such an important
Yeah.
question that we all need to
The
answer.
human loop is critical.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away.
Uh-huh. I love that. Awesome. Well, Yusuf, it has been seriously so awesome having you on the show today. You've dropped a lot of value. I love how you went through your framework and also like what people are tend to miss and like where they need to focus on in order to make the biggest impact for them to feel confident in what they do, right? Because we spend so many hours of our lives working, right? So it might as well be something that we enjoy and that we feel confident about and that we feel secure doing. And so thank you so much for everything that you've brought onto the marketing matrix today.
Of course, thank you for having me, Lisanne.
So for people that want to follow you, find Edge Careers, understand more about what you do, how do they do that?
Edge-careers.com. You can go there and get to know about me, set up time with me for a no strings attached, free consultation. And it's really a conversation about where you are, where you want to be. Happy to do that and see if I can help.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to put the link to that website that Yusuf had in the episode notes so you can link out to that directly. He also has some assessments to help you know like where you're at in terms of your confidence and readiness to pivot that are pretty cool that I've done myself. So I recommend that you take advantage of all the resources that Yusuf has. But again, Yusuf, thank you so much for everything you've brought onto the marketing matrix. And guys, wherever you're listening from, your car, Costco, or your kitchen, it means the world for you to spend some time with us. And so thank you so much. Until next time on the Marketing Matrix.